Hello, everybody out there in Facebook land, TikTok world, everywhere you want to be. This is a little bit of a special edition of 412 Productions, The Art of Monty Anderson. You hear our screaming memes behind us. You get to see some of our animals today. Down on the Farm is today's title. This is the day's chores. You see the dogs back there. That's Phoenix, our Rexy dog. That's Bruiser. He's our loudest little pig. Yeah, aren't you, bud? This is Bit right here. Step over, Bit. Thank you. All right, Bruiser, come on, bud. You get to see what we get to do during the day. There you go. There. It's morning feeding time for the animals. Right now. Off. Back it up. That way. So, you got to keep those two separated. Otherwise, one will try to eat the other one's food, blah, blah, blah. Let me see here. Where do we... But good morning, everybody. We are going to rotate this around so you're in the right direction. But you want to see them eat? There you go. You get to watch them eat. There's a Bit down there eating her food. She's the slowest eater. She's the biggest pig of them all. He's the little guy. They're both potbelly pigs, mini pigs, even though she's about 200 pounds. He's right at about 150 probably. And this is the new roof we just put on right here to keep everybody nice and cool. And then we can sit up here and watch everybody if it rains and all that good stuff. How are y'all doing today? How are you doing? Yeah, I know. But it's still potbelly in there. That's the girlfriend Audrey piping in about the pigs. And then, of course, you got not our cat, but he thinks he is. And then we got the mud puddle over there for him, the cooking area. All of our pepper plants and some house plants up there. There's a lot of yard work going on. This used to be much bigger, this pile right here, until we burned it off. That one's getting burned off later today or tonight. That coop's coming down back over there. And then we'll get to the pain in the asses here in just a little bit. Back in the back. But you got to keep them separated during the morning time. Because this little guy, Bruiser here, he likes to eat Bit's food because she's so slow at eating all of her food. If you thought you had pigs at your house, no you don't. So what are we all doing out there? Girlfriend's on her last day of vacation. She's hating getting ready to go back to work. Aren't you, dear? Gotta keep them separated. Yes, And this is what you do for the first, 10, 15, 20 minutes of your day. Is you sit here and you keep these two separated. And then he'll try to come over. We'll kick him off the porch. She'll finish her food. And you still got to keep him away from her food. And then we'll go let out the other wild hooligans here in just a little bit. I'm going to have the dogs go in, though. As she said, she'd quit right now if she could. I know you would. If we had it all worked out right now where you could, we would. But it's a nice Sunday morning. Not too hot yet. I got to cut the rest of this tin off the edge over here. I'm going to be cutting it back quite a ways all the way down so it's not overhanging like that. But I put some more bracers in here on top And I'll be screwing those down. Then I'm going to be sealing all the holes up in the top that you can see light coming through different spots. Be filling all those holes in so that you don't get wet while you're sitting here watching all your animals out there. Gonna have to refill some pools for the birds, the geese, and the ducks. Yes, that's a little baby bathtub, but they like to get in it. And then a smaller tub, and then a splash pad, a tote, and then there's 3 more pools out there. One's over there. This is going away, going to scrap yard. And there's 2 more pools out that way, and the one over there. So we got 5 pools total for them to swim in and dunk their heads. And time to refill some water. Make a little mash for it. No, it's just like your smoothie that you get. You get those smoothies right there, and that's what she's getting right now. You go get your refresher, your smoothie, and boom, that's what she's getting. It's just in pig feed form. Hopefully everybody's doing good out there today. Dogs are out roaming the yard right now, which they need to be coming inside. And this is one of our birds right here. This is Chester. He's been sickly, so he's been inside.
Well, he's not sickly.
He's not sick anymore.
He's getting bullied by the others.
Yeah, so we've been keeping him inside for now.
Chester the molester.
Yep, Chester the molester right there. This is Dexter. He was already named, and since we like Dexter, we left it as is. And again, Phoenix right there, the rescue dog. She's much healthier and happier than she was whenever we found her. She was still happy, but she was nothing but a big scab whenever we found her. And then once the dogs go inside, we'll let the chickens and birds out, the ducks and the geese. But we still got to keep these 2 separated for a hot minute while she still finishes up her little patch of food that she's got left, which isn't much, but she still does her thing. Bruiser is very loud and boisterous right there. He's a big baby, just like our dogs. Yep. And here comes Chester to check out some food spots, see what's available. But for now, we've got 2 injured birds that also go in this coop over here that's going to get torn down, but not while they're in it. They got injured by a raccoon in an attack, and so we've been keeping them in the house to recoup and rehabilitate. And no, sir. No, sir. See, now he's coming over close to her food. No, sir. You can back it up. You can back it up. Yeah, I know. You don't want to. I want more food. I get it. I know. You got grass to go graze on and stuff that you can find in the yard. Go on. Go on. They sometimes listen. Not all the time. So again, we're rehabilitating 2 birds that got injured in a coon attack. And that's a raccoon attack. And here they are. She's recovering a broken wing, and he's got some neurological stuff going on in him. Okay, thanks, Bit.
We're not quite sure about that.
Yeah, we're not sure about that one yet. So we're going to go put them up and put the other ones out so you can come join us while we put them down and let them do their thing. And in the distance, you can hear the far cry of the geese and the ducks. Yeah, we will. But again, this one's getting ready to come down. This one's all going to come down. And it'll be an open space. And then I'm going to come on this side. She's going to open up the door. We're in the process of fixing the bottom section of the coop. Yeah, I'm going to show them that. Here we go. All the birds coming out. What's up, bud? And right back over there. Here, buddy. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here, you. Right there. He thinks he's as big as everybody else. That little fro thing going on there, that little flippy do up there. What you got on you, bud? There we go. Let's get you up with the rest of your crew. Since you like to straggle behind. There they are. There we go. This is the smallest crew that we've got out here. They're getting bigger by the day. You see that little bitty one over there, peeping for his crew. The rest of them have gone to their respective spots. Again, that's going away because that's going to get burned tonight. All this stuff is getting burned, not the blue barrel, not the tarps, not the plastics, but everything else is going to get burned off. Get burned tonight. All this stuff is getting burned, not the blue barrel, not the tarps, not the plastics, but everything else is going to get burned off. We've got some digging happening, which means we've got animals out there getting around our coop, which is right. This is evidence of them digging here. That looks like a water line right there from dew. That looks like a water line right there from dew. So that nothing could dig at the edge, because I was noticing some dig. So that nothing could dig at the edge, because I was noticing some dig marks along this little section, which we're going to dig this out, put 10 down, and then go back above it. You got to make sure everybody's out. And then you got to collect your eggs. Right like that. I'm going to get those in a little bit. It's not imperative that you... What are you doing, bud? Well, come on. Well, come on. What are you doing? You lose your crew already? Did you lose your crew already? Come here. Come here. So, they're a little bit more docile than some of our other ones. They like to be picked up and stuff. This one's a nice little whitey. No, it's a mix. Most of ours are bars. There you go. There you go. This is our smallest one. Little man right here. Come here, bud. Come here, bud. Say hi to everybody. Say hi to everybody. That's our smallest little man. But he still thinks he's as big as everybody else. Here comes Bit to check things out. They're actually making their way to the coop to see what food was left by the birds. And right here, this one looks like a penguin, so she calls him Pingy. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Right there. Bum, bum, bum. Who's done? And this is the rooster of the flock, the red one. He is claimed this flock. And of course you see all the ducks right over here. We got the geese over here with our two baby geese right here. And then the chickens, of course. This one right here is our last good boy, Frodo's child. This is our rooster right here. This is his child. He's a gorgeous rooster already, and he's still young. He's going to be big. He's starting to get his spurs in. They're getting a drink of water. And then back over here, this is the wisteria bush. And then back over there, we've got a pond, which we're going to dig out some more. We've got it covered right now because one of our expensive little koi fish got eaten the other day by a raccoon, finding a free meal. So you get to see all that. That's what we do in a day. And then we let them free range the rest of the day, and then they get put up at night about 7 o'clock. 7, it depends. 7, anywhere between 7 and 7:30. Then we're going to come back here to the back section where the garden is. And then our building materials. That's just a portion of them. And then our building materials. That's just a portion of them. Up for them. And then the pepper plants. Oh, I see some scorpions that are about ready. Trinidad scorpion peppers. And then we got these little guys, which are the Scotch bonnets. And they're massive. And just look at the size of that thing. They haven't turned their color yet. But here we got Scotch bonnets. And they're massive. And just look at the size of that thing. They haven't turned their color yet. But here we go. We got some scorpions that are coming on quite nicely. They're ready to pick off. Get out of there. But Trinidad scorpions, they're a hot pepper. Much more hot peppers in here too. Probably some habaneros and things like that. But scorpions, they're a hot pepper. Much more hot peppers in here too. Probably some habaneros and things like that. But we got Scotch bonnet. We've got some more what's called a candy cane chocolate cherry coming on here. Boom, boom, just like the Scotch bonnets and everything else. But that's the bad thing about, it is kind of open back here, especially this side right here. But that's the bad thing about, it is kind of open back here, especially this side right here. We're going to be fixing that. This is all the free material, all that chicken wire, regular wire. But I rabbit, and I'll sit there and eat on it. And do some clippings. Like I said, I got to get an awning for this because it just bakes in the sun all day long. The rest of this gets shade, adequate shade. These are what are called lemon cucumbers right here. Got, oh yeah, got green beans that are starting to die off. Got green beans that are starting to die off.
We have a crooked beak.
Oh, you do have a crooked beak. She got eyeline on.
Except for this little we
Yeah,
have.
her
We have
little beak.
Crooked beak.
Her little beak is a little crooked right there.
Still cute though.
Or what we call the composting method as well. You use old logs, and then you fill it in with composting material, and then you fill it in with, different soils. Like at the base here is a compost mix that I've got from our own composting area. And then I put in some topsoil, and then I put in some garden soil over the top of this. And I'm going to be putting more of these around this little section back here. We're actually going to put up the greenhouse back over here in this little section. So so we can house plants for the winter. Throw in a little heater if we have to. And then all of this is going to be more garden area. We're going to find more composting logs and things like that, which we can just cut down logs and make happen. But you just use any like that. But any clippings and things like that, you can throw these plants. If I were, the whole thing from base to above my head, it's over 7 foot tall. And that, again, is not our cat, but he thinks he is. We call him Tom. His name is Kratos. Yes, off the God of War character, I'm sure. Just judged by the people that owned him. But this is our compound fence that we put up. These are all drywall pallets. How on all of these, going all the way across and all the way over and up on the back side of the other side where the back 40 is, if you will. And unfortunately, we still have a lot of this type of stuff to take care of in the yard because that's all in the area. This was nothing but back here. And any of this, clean up a mountain of trash that started basically from that right there all the way to the other end to where the other fence stopped. It was probably about a good, say this level or certain spots. So a foot tall areas. And all that up. Oh, is it free? Because it's connect to Wi-Fi as I get close to the house, so it's gonna freeze. So we cut down a ton of trees in just this area alone, just to make it. So we cut down a ton of trees in just this area alone, just to make it habitable. Because you can see all these trees right here. We left for the birds, knowing that that's their section over there. And we trimmed out quite a few so that we could move around in there as well on the other side of the wall. And a lot of these trees aren't kind. They have spikes and thorns and everything else on them. I can't remember the exact name of them right off the top of my head now, but they coat everything back in here. If you were to get up next to them, you would be hit with a nice little thorn of some sort. Now back in here too, we've got pear trees in there just like we do on the other side of this fence. We got an apple and a pear tree that came with the property, as well as the walnut tree and the pecan trees that we have. So we have an abundance of fruit-bearing trees, if you will. Now these aren't producing fruit this year. They're in a specific thing that it's called, where they don't produce much fruit at all. They've producing fruit this year. They're in a specific thing that it's called, where they don't produce much fruit at all. They've produced a couple of small apples and pears. But it's just like whenever you see a field that lies dormant for a year, it's the same thing. They do it naturally in the wild. So like last year we had a great crop of pear and apple come off, and this year we're not. Same thing. It's a natural revitalization, if you will, of the plant. So it's like I was talking about, where you see a farmer that doesn't plow up his field and do anything with it. He's letting it refresh. There's a specific word I think of it right off the top of my head, and maybe Casey knows it right off the top of his head. But what it does is let the nutrients get back to the soil, enrich it again, because you're not doing Casey a little. you know, let's see, where's the goodie? Right there. Nope, two of them fell. But we're going to take this little guy. And these little tomatoes are called Juliet tomatoes. Right here. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, great flavor. But this is what we do in a day. We check everything out. We go into a building process after I've done my artwork. Because that's we check everything out. We go into a building process after I've done my artwork. Because that's what I do for the first part of the day. From anywhere between 3 o'clock in the morning until, say, noon or 1, I'm doing nothing but artwork. Now, am I actually drawing that entire time or painting that entire time? Absolutely not. Like I talked about in one of the other videos, that whenever you're doing your research for everything, that takes up time. Because you're trying to find the right pose, you're trying to find the right look, you're trying to find the right armor look. Because like the God of War stuff, I'm doing 3 different armor types on the characters. And so with that God of War stuff, I'm doing 3 different armor types on the characters. And so with that, I'm having to find all the different angles because of the way I've drawn the characters in. And so that means trying to find all the right angles so you can get the right look so that the piece looks right for the different armors. So that takes the time because you can't always find the right angle all the time, since it is a game module. And then once I've done all of that and got the artwork up to where I want, let's get the sunlight away from behind me. Then, no, everybody's like, no, put it back, put it back. Then, once all that's done and she's home, I let her rest, and then I come outside, check the animals again, make sure everybody's still alive, because you get birds that pick on each other. I let her rest, and then I come outside, check the animals again, make sure everybody's still alive, because you get birds that pick on each other, obviously. The geese like to pick on everybody, including us. But it's not like they're chasing you down and things like that. Like you see a lot of the horror stories of people why they hate geese and things like that. And then you look to see what you got to shore up. Like I've got to shore up this entire that leans in, right, which I've got the post for. I've just got to get them dug, which is very difficult since there's a lot of root system still in this ground where all these trees used to be. And then you got to watch for little baby bunnies back in here, because there are tons of baby bunnies up in here. And that's why, you know, they're eating my tomatoes like this one. Another great flavorful one. And then part of your day is refilling pools, because you want them to have a nice fresh, hi bud, that's one of our bantams. That means that's as big as she'll ever get. Yeah, say hi to everybody. Yeah. And then the geese over here in this pool, yes, we use car ramps so they can get in and out, but they don't use them most of the time. But you see how scummy the water gets. This is just after 1 day of use. And she's in rut, meaning she's in heat. So she is, you know, trying to get out everybody. And here's our ducks enjoying a clean pool. Yeah. Enjoying a clean pool. It's already dirty. And this is just one that they like to get in, but it's also for drinking purposes. And then you see the fun happening, the fun ensuing as she stood leading chase on. She doesn't run very often, but you get to see her run right there. Just like our geese here.
You can have it. Not passing it on me.
But you got to have fun with it. And like I said, here's our 2 little geese. And he has taken up mantle of daddy. He's not their father. We actually bought these 2 at Atwood's. But he has taken on as their protector and daddy, showing them what to do. As you see, he's ducking his head down like that. He's protecting. And the little bouffant hairdo she's got going on over here. We're pretty sure this is going to be another male right here. And I know, you're doing a great job. Yep, you're doing a great job. And then this little forest right here is where Bruiser and Bit like to sleep. Protected. This used to house potatoes, but it's gone dormant this year. We didn't put anything in it. But all that's getting cleaned up right there. We got some lawnmowers and a yard cart over there. This is where they sleep, the pigs, right now. It's going to be attached to the building or somewhere close by and redone a lot better. But all this is getting cleaned up. That's all the boards from the house where I had to repair a wall. Again, that's going away. This is going to get moved. All this wire is going to get reused along the base of the fence so that the birds can't escape through, just like we did up here. I know you can't see it. All of those tree limbs are going away because they came from his tree when it busted my fence over there. All those tree limbs up there are going away. The rest is getting split for firewood as it's already been seasoned. All that's getting picked up. All the tires are going to get put back in the back 40 with the garden area. But this is our pear tree right here. Apple tree in the back. Pond with the wisteria covering everything. These are raised flower beds right here on either side. And what's going to happen is all the ducks and geese are going to go over there after we get the pond dug out and situated so that they can, just go out, get into a pond instead of us having to refill a pond on a regular basis. Yeah, I know, guys. So this is what we do in a day. Now, for a lot of that day, she's at work. And so I'm taking care of it all. And that's what we do. And then there's days that she just wants to do it and be out with nature. And so she'll take care of it all. Now the greenhouse here. This is going to get turned into a woodworking shop. It's going to get sealed up with wood from a lot of our lumber that we just picked up, my lumber yard out front that you've seen pictures of. We're going to seal in where all the plastic is with wood. And it's going to be turned into our woodworking shop. We got new tin for the top, which is thicker stuff. I got to get 1x6s to lay across so that I have a nice solid base for everything to lay on. And here she comes again. Woo.
It did.
There you go.
So I bought a brand new bottle of carburetor cleaner and hadn't even used it yet. And it somehow rolled off of the golf cart back there because I was going to use it on a golf cart. And she got a hold of it and popped it. So then we had to have like a whole ordeal of flushing out her mouth. Huh.
Yeah, we had to flush out her mouth because what she was talking about, if you couldn't hear her, was that while we're working on, I'll go over here and show you. We do small engine repair stuff as well. And so we are working on a golf cart that we're turning into a yard cart. Hi, baby. And we moved it over here into some shade because during this part of the day, not this part of the day, it is in the shade, not right now because the sun's right there. So we had 2 bottles, one of a starter and a carb cleaner sitting up here. Well, when we moved it over here and we started up the engine, which we finally got started by putting a different tank on, yada, yada, yada. Then it vibrated off, I guess, and landed over here. Well, Bit comes up thinking it's a bottle of soda, you know, like a Dr. Pepper or a root beer that normally sits around the house or sits here in the yard while we're working. And she ended up getting hold of it and then taking it right over there and popping it open with her sharp teeth, and it sprayed her everywhere. So we had to flush her mouth out, give her some dry grains so that it would soak up any of the chemical that she possibly took and all that good stuff. So it was fun. She likes to bust bottles open is what she does. Now, all of this long tin right here, which is 24 foot long, right here from end to end, it's 24 foot long. That's a friend's car we're fixing up for him. And then these are my 12-foot pieces right here. And then all the lumber that you see here, those are chips that just got dropped. More lumber on the other side, more lumber on the other side. We're going to build a kiosk up there. You see we got a cow field right across the street from us. So you get to see all the cows every morning as well. We're going to build a kiosk over where those trash cans are that are going to be for eggs and fresh produce. Yes, we have a cement mixer. We're working on this one. We've almost got it ready to go. That one's a parts machine right now, and then it's going to be sold off for junk parts. That's the septic system. If you don't know what that is, go look it up. But again, all this is getting burned off except for the thicker pieces. Those are going to get turned into firewood, split for firewood, split for firewood, split for firewood, split for firewood, trash, burn off, split for firewood. Firewood already started up on the porch. All of that wood is going back on the house and all that good stuff. And then, of course, my post will be getting into the ground. Like you already see some of them done. Can't see some of them back there due to the jungle. But we are slowly cleaning up the property from what was left. Been here 4 years and still cleaning of what was left here. And it's not cool because they left a mound of garbage for me to clean up. And so, what's up, Pidgey? What's up, Pingy? Come here, buddy. Come here. Come say hi to everybody. Come say hi to everybody. Some people want to see you. Right there. Yeah, I know. I know, buddy. I know. Come here. Get on up. Get on up. There you go. There you go. Good job, buddy. So this is, again, one of our smaller flock pieces right there. He just made his way down to the ground. But they're all over the place. They're running around everywhere. But again, burned off tonight. That stuff's getting burned off except for the plastics and the tarps. That tarp's coming out. That's one of our smaller birds right there, the little white one I showed you earlier. Tarps. That tarp's coming out. That's one of our smaller birds right there, the little white one I showed you earlier. They are loud and boisterous. He's turned into a white. They are loud and boisterous. He's turned into quite a dickhead right there as he attacks everybody for no reason other than just to attack. So he is your typical goose that you don't want to be around most of the time. But for the most part, he's pretty docile until it comes to food time stuff. So, and there you go on that note. And of course, they're alerting, letting me know, oh, there's a mockingbird over there. Yeah, they don't like other birds hitting the yard. So they alert. Look, right over there. Right over there. He's trying to find his people. Or she. Come here. Come here. Get with Pingy. Get with Pingy. Right there. The rest of them are floating around somewhere. You'll find them. And see, if you quit turning around, you'd be all right. Now, like I talked about earlier, we got two injured birds that we're keeping apart from the flock right now so they don't get picked on. And they're in here. This is the duck that's injured right now. You see she's not using her legs very well right there. And then this one was mauled pretty bad. In fact, we have an exposed bone sticking out of her back right now. But she's doing great. What? You can hear them peeping like crazy. Well, go find your people. Come on, let's go find your people. Where are they at? They're back here? Which they probably are. Just cleared and opened this section up. This used to be all the way out to here, out to this post, which this post will come down just like the other one did. And if I had to guess, around the remainder of, and here's all the littles, except for the bantam. Here's all the littles, except for the bantam. She's about the same size. But they're scratching for what food they can find that was left over. Because they get knocked out because they're so small. So, during the feeding time at night. But this is what we do. This is our day. You know, most people are going to a 9-to-5 job. I mean, she does for the most part. But you know, most people are going to a 9-to-5 job. I mean, she does for the most part. But for it all powered by the sun, which will be cool. And I've got all the stuff in the house. I just got to get it all hooked up out here, meaning battery included, which we have. And so we'll get all that up and running soon. And with nothing being on here, we're already getting new growth of grasses coming up already. Always cool to see, especially whenever your birds decimate areas hot and heavy. And that's why the yard looks a little butchered as well. It gives them a spot to lay in during the hot part of the sun, and they can find bugs in here, and the pigs like to lay in it too, but it's for the birds to hide in as well. So you might think, oh my God, you butchered your yard. No, there's a pattern. There's a reason why. Because if you take it all the way to the ground, they've got nowhere to hide when hawks fly over and things of that nature. So, it's a life sometimes. Whenever, you know, you're trying to make it all happen. Because they got to eat too. So any revenue that comes in goes back to them too. And so, as well as the cleanup process around here, around these parks. What's up? Say hi to everybody. What's up? Say hi to everybody. Another parts that we've just been pulling parts off of. That's where we actually got the gas tank from for the go-kart over there. This is our newest rooster. This is Tuck. This is our newest rooster. This is Tuck. What's up, buddy? Yeah. He said hello. He just said hello to everybody. And the girlfriend's over here watching TikTok videos or reels. One of the two. pools are almost full, so everybody can cool off for the day. And here's the ducks conversing. David is the white one, and then that's his harem of women. Just like us, they get a drink after they take a bite of food. Now we got a whole group of birds inside right now, about 5 more baby chicks. And of birds inside right now, about 5 more baby chicks. And they are just out there, you know, doing their thing inside until they get a little bigger. And then we'll kick them out here with the rest of the flock. Good morning, Ballerina Cajun. How's it going out there? Welcome to the show. You're getting to see what we do in a day. We started with the feeding of the pigs, letting out the animals, the birds, letting out our injured and our bullied animals to be with the rest of the flock. And so that's what we're showing right now. We showed the garden back there, and that's Tuck sounding off. He's our newest rooster, again, right here. Beautiful Rock Island right there. Great colors. And then here comes Bit. She's a little in rut. That's one of our newest ducks right there. Got great colors. That green iridescence on his head. In the back 40. Well, get in. Our littles, and a bunch more of our littles over there. One getting ready to lay up there in the nesting box, and then there's 3 more right there, getting some food. And then the one that's not in here is out roaming around somewhere by himself. The one we call Penguin. Gotta get all these ants under control. This is going away, absolutely 100%. Once we get the injured birds rehabilitated, they are going to go and tear all this down, all this old coop. This was our first coop built out here. It was right up against the fence line until we found out that our fence line actually went about 60 feet deeper back in there. And so we opened it all up. Opened it all up back there, compounded it off from this side all the way around. Now it is open on one side because my neighbor over there is going to help me dig out the pond with some equipment, and so I don't have to dig it out by hand. It's always nice to have friends to have equipment. Dig out the pond with some equipment, and so I don't have to dig it out by hand. It's always nice to have friends to have equipment. So that's the things you got to do. You got to be quick on your feet. But it's coming along quite nicely. Getting clean. But it's coming along quite nicely. Getting cleaned up quite nicely. It's like crap, but better than it even a week ago. And then after tonight, with that being gone, it'll be even better. Big bonfire tonight. So if you're in the area, you'll see it. But again, we're turning this into a woodworking shop. And yes, there's another cement mixer over there. And all of this dirt will be reclaimed back into the wild. And all this will be ripped apart because there's a watering system that goes underneath the ground there, underneath the dirt. But all apart because there's a watering system that goes underneath the ground there, underneath the dirt. But all that will be dealt with and taken open and reused somewhere else. And then again, not our cat, but it's turned into our cat, Mr. Tom here. Yeah, he lives 2 houses down, but the owners have kind of disowned him. And of course, mosquitoes are bad. Not as bad as the Louisiana like you are, but you know.
Yeah, they don't want him because he got sick.
No.
They didn't want the responsibility.
No, they just felt like that he got taken over by someone down here, and that that he was kidnapped is what they basically said. He wasn't by choice. He was not. He just never went back home. So the real question is, what were you doing to him? By choice. He was not. He just never went back home. So the real question is, what were you doing to him at home to make him not want to go back home? Is what it boils down to. But still, when you get cat sick. Right. Yeah. They were complete jerks whenever we told them that their cat was sick, and they were like, "Oh, well, it's not our cat anymore."
He had jaundice really bad.
Yeah, he had jaundice. He was yellow, and we didn't think he was going to make it actually. And
he had jaundice really bad.
Yeah, he had jaundice. He was yellow, and we didn't think he was going to make it actually. And so he was pretty pathetic. But now we're going to go back to the office by way of, going through the house. And Chad Henning, 3-time Super Bowl winner. When I was in the military, we taught him got to take him out on the range. Right there, of course, Jerry Jones, Tony Romo, Troy Aikman, of course, too long, Jay Novacek, Darren Woodson, all autographs, all real autographs right there. And then the autographed football helmet that I got for a birthday present one year. Pretty cool. Lots of great names there. And then when I played for the Dallas Cowboys, back in the 70s, just kidding. I was barely even born then. Yes, we burned incense. When I played for the Dallas Cowboys, back in the 70s, just kidding. I was barely even born then. Yes, we burned incense in the house. When I played for the Dallas Cowboys, back in the 70s, just kidding. I was barely even born then. Yes, we burned incense in the house. There's our 2 dogs. We also have our 2 dogs. We also have some cats that are running around somewhere. Eagle right there. Yes. We also have some cats that are running around somewhere. Eagle right there. Yes. It's permanently fix it. So there you go, folks. Permanently fix it. So there you go, folks. This lifestyle isn't for everybody. Let's just say, because I've known people that have started it and then quit pretty quick. And I mean, I get it 100%. And it's like, it definitely isn't for everybody. Just like certain jobs aren't for everybody. And it takes a special kind of someone to do this type of stuff. So whenever you do think about the food that you're getting from the grocery store or the eggs and things like that, think a farmer. Think a homesteader at the farmer's market and things like that you stop in and get those fresh produce. You know, think a homesteader at the farmer's market and things like that, that you stop in and get those fresh produce from. The watermelons, the eggs, the corn, the plants and things like that. Because the farmers markets here are big deal all around us. Greenwood has a good one. Fort Smith has a big one. The towns around us have big occasions of and if you don't hit a farmer's market every now and again, you should, because they have homemade stuff, that's fresher than what you get at the grocery store, like homemade jellies and jams and things like that. And that's what we're working towards here. The whole canning process is the whole, making our own jellies and jams and canning our own stuff and just being prepared for things in life, And it's like, why don't more people try to do that? Oh, it's convenience. It's what Casey and I talked about before. It is the microwave society. We want it now, but if it takes us this long to prep something, we don't want it anymore. And that's our downfall as a society, in my opinion. Because if we have to work for something a little bit, but yet we can go over here and get it quicker, and easier, and we don't have to do as much. Oh, let me do that side. That falls into the AI bullshit stuff. Oh, I can get this done quicker, faster, and I can have it when I want it, and I can have it how I want it. Instead of paying an artist to draw up something for you. 18 by 24 God of War piece that I'm starting the inking process of, with all the different elements. And this is what I'm talking about, the different armors. I got 3 different characters with 3 different armors. Okay? All these little lines that you're seeing right here, that's chain. So all that's going to get turned into chain. He's got a lot more intricate details in his armor that's underneath this cloak that's got metal edges to it. This is what is called the God armor for Kratos. And it's got little faces on these bracers on here, and then this is all chain around his wrist right here. And then there's more intricate details in the spear. Just like there's more intricate details in the Chaos Blades, the Leviathan Axe. More detail that's going to go into that you don't get to see right here, but you do the research on and you get all the stuff for, and then whenever it all happens and comes to play, boom, it all comes to life. Just like there's more detail in these bone hooks that Hades has back over here, and there's more detail in the Dragon or Dreki and the Wolver down here, the hair that's going to go into it. All this stuff goes into play with it all that you don't see just yet right off the surface. And it's like, just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not there, and it won't be there. It's one of those things that it takes time to get where it's at. Just like the house has taken time to get where it's at now. And I'm having to repair a lot of shit inside the house because it was done wrong in the first place. There's no eaves or awnings on any of this new build section of the house. So the water basically just runs right down the side of the house. All that's going to get corrected. Because whenever I push this out, the extra 100+ feet going that direction, there's going to be eaves and overhangs like there's supposed to be. There's not going to be any of this, oh, well, this is how it should have been in the beginning. Because why cut corners when you can do it right the first time? Just like I've got eaves and overhangs on the back porch that I just put on, that tin roof. And so that means the water is not going to run right down the edge of the house. That means it's going to have a spot to go off of, which is what I'll be doing today at some point in time after I do some artwork, because I woke up late today because the girlfriend's on vacation, and we're taking advantage of that. This is her last day of vacation, and so we're trying to take advantage of all the time, that we have together in that moment. And that's all we have is this moment. We don't have tomorrow. We don't have the next 30 minutes. I could sign off of here and something could happen. A plane could land on my house because I've got the air base right next to me. A misfire from a missile in training. Anything could happen. So again, like I've said before, tell the people around you that are close to you that you love them, that you're thinking about them, and because tomorrow's not promised. Again, the next 15 minutes isn't promised. I mean, hell, you could watch me disappear right here on TV, on your, not TV, but unless you're watching me on TV, which some people do, have this hooked up to their TV and all that good stuff. But there's that potential chance that I croak right here on live, and then people would be like, oh, that's so funny. That's a good thing. Look at that. I think, I'm not sure if he's playing or acting or what, but he's doing really good. As, drool and stuff's coming out of the nose and mouth and all that good stuff, Not saying that's going to happen, but it could, What up, Casey? Welcome back to the show. After your little hiatus of missing out here, we are back in the office. Obviously. Yeah, I'm sorry for, coming on a little bit later. But again, did sleep in a little bit because we didn't go to bed until closer to, I think it was 11:30, almost midnight last night. Yeah, because like I said, I turned off the Wi-Fi because it was trying to connect to the Wi-Fi every time I would get close to the house. So that was probably why it was freezing. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. So I turned that off. And I don't know how it looked the rest of the way, because to me, it continues to go. So on your guys' side, I don't know what it really looks like over there. Well, yeah, I'm back on Wi-Fi inside the house, stationary. Because I'm sure it does try to roam as well. Because I know there's a cell phone tower not too far to the east of me and to the west of me. So it probably tries to bounce off of both of those whenever I get in a certain range, possibly. I don't know. Considering the view, jerk. Love you, man. I love your honesty, 100%. And I know I should have the sun behind me so it drowns out my face. So I don't look too much like Danny Bonaducci. Now, if I was getting his 25-cent royalty checks on a weekly basis, that'd be awesome. But no, we just wanted to show a portion of what happens in the day. Now, we didn't start in the office, obviously, where it would normally start. Like I said, anywhere between 3 o'clock until 1, roughly, is when I'm in the office. Absolutely. And that's very rare if she loves it. But from about 3 o'clock or so in the morning until about 1 is when I'm in the office doing artwork. And like I said, not every piece of thing that I do is actually taking the pencil or pen to the paper. There's research involved, like I was talking about. And so with the research that's involved, you don't get to see all the behind the scenes with that on a regular basis. But that takes up quite a bit of time. And then the actual starting the inking process, like I said, which I'm doing on the God of War piece, the paintings that I do, those type things, then that's where the time gets involved as well. And then once that time frame happens, I have to take a break at that 7 o'clock hour to feed the pigs, like we showed at the beginning of the show. I didn't show getting the feed and all that stuff and then taking it out to them. Excuse me. I showed the them eating section as I was getting ready to pour the food in there, and then keeping them separated, and then letting out the birds. And you see the onslaught that happens as soon as that door opens. They all come rushing out. And then the taking out of the injured birds to the coop that's going to be torn down. And then taking out Chester, the rooster that was here with Frodo. The Frodo was our main bird until he passed on. And so from all of that, about an hour of your day is gone from doing the artwork section. Maybe about an hour, hour and a half, depending. Because again, you've got to sit there and keep the pigs separated. And you can't let the birds out until the pigs are done eating, because the birds will try to eat all their food. And then you got to try and fight the birds off of their food, just like we do at the evening time. So we scatter some feed out a ways away to keep the birds occupied for a hot minute while the pigs eat their food at the evening time. Now, would it be smarter to separate everybody out? It would be. But then you would have all these gates and all these different spots and all these different things, when it's just easier to let them all commingle together. Now, when we had the goats, yes, we kept the goats separated from pretty much everybody else. And the goats just didn't work for us. Especially after they had the kids, and the Finn, the male goat, ended up getting mean and trying to, take your legs out from under you every chance he got. Not cool. So we got rid of the goats. We're not going to do the goats again. If we do the goats again, we're going to do the true pygmy Nigerian dwarf goats. They only get about this big. A little bigger than a Chihuahua. Okay? Whereas these were Nigerians that they told us were dwarf, but they weren't. They were regular Nigerian goats. And so they were regular sized goats. So they were, this tall. The size of Phoenix, or a little bit bigger than Phoenix. Getting closer to Dexter size, which is an 80-pound dog, He's probably closer to 90 now, but he's a freaking horse is what he is. And so we take care of all of that. So an hour of my day goes to just the birds alone. And again, that is also checking the perimeter of my coop to make sure nothing has actually dug into the coop, like I showed you, where some dig spots had happened. And there's a commotion going on. I don't know what's going on in there. I'll find out here in a minute. It has something to do with the dogs, though. So that's our day. Once she gets home, we'll do some things together after she rests. And we'll do some things in the yard together, like the small engine repair stuff. And we'll try to get some lawnmowers going, because we're trying to get the riding mower going, because my push mower is old and I haven't bought a new one, because that one's from 2009 and it's almost an antique, at this point in time. And so we're trying to get the riding lawnmowers going, so to make things easier, and also so that we can pull stuff from front yard to backyard, because we don't have a real access point except through my neighbor's yard, which over there. And once they put a fence up, well, that access is now gone, and so we're trying to get a point where we have vehicles like the golf cart and the riding mower to get stuff from the front to the back easier. And here she is again. Hold on, she's come to tell me something, so she can just tell everybody. There you go. What do you got to say?
You heard from Scott.
No, I have not heard from Scott. We're going to be taking her car over to a friend's house to get it fixed up, because I'm going to be, taking off for a hot minute to go see my mother, who's getting ready to have a pacemaker put in. And it's going to be sooner than they wanted to, because they did not like a sound. The heart doctor said he didn't like what he was hearing inside of her. So she's going to be getting a pacemaker sooner than she wanted, because it was going to be in September. So, but it's looking like the end of this month or very beginning of August that she is going to get a pacemaker. So we're trying to get her car over there looked at, because it's still having front end issues, and he's got all the equipment to do all that. So what was going on with the dogs just a minute ago?
It wasn't the dogs.
No, who was it?
Angelo made a break for it.
Oh, did he?
I let Mama Cat out, and I was like, okay, bye. And as the door was closing, he goes, whoop, whoop.
Yeah, I knew it was one of the dogs or the cat or something, but I couldn't tell.
It was
which one.
right here. Angelo, you want to come say hi to the ant?
All right, bud.
Ants?
Here's Angelo. There's a butt shot for you guys.
Oh, God.
There he is. See his angry little face? Hey, look at that angry little face right there. Yeah. I'm an angry kitty. I don't get to go outside.
What do you want to say? Nothing?
Nothing. He has nothing to say. He's starting to get hefty now that he's not going anywhere. He's turning into that 30-pound kitten.
I still think he's got bobcat.
Yeah, he could have some bobcat in him.
He's a very lanky big cat.
Yeah. Now get out. Unless you're going to hunt down some mice. We still have some mice issues in the house, but
yeah, Monty got irritated with me the other day about that.
Yeah, she was going through a box of books and ended up finding a little mouse house in some books.
Babies.
Yeah, some little baby mice, and I was just like, what we can do with those, right? Chinese restaurant, Korean restaurant.
No, you said we could throw them out for the chickens to eat.
We could do that
and
too.
I said no.
Who's to say I haven't done that already?
No. No. I love everything.
Because the chickens will hunt down some mice. It's funny to watch them.
They stay amongst them in the freaking chicken coop.
Well, because at night they don't see them, so they don't care.
No, after you close the door, they start coming out.
Oh,
so they can see them. They just live amongst them.
Well, there you go. Well, they usually chase them down, because I've watched it happen before. And I've seen them, with the carcasses of the mice that they've caught. So, but we're going to be working as well on the pig containment area so that they can stay outside and stay in a secure space. We've got the hay for them. We just got to get it out there and get it clean and all that good stuff, and then go from there. So
here's your microphone. I gotta get
okay. And another butt shot. You're welcome. There you go, folks. There you go, folks. But much appreciated for the likes, the shares, and the follows. And if you are new here, go ahead and like, share, and follow. And whenever you do follow, you can get that bell icon that's at the top of the profile. And you can hit the all to everything in there. That way you know when I post or go live, which is usually early in the morning. Today, well, you shouldn't have been looking away. But today was a little different, because we try to go live about 4:12 a.m. in the morning, hence 412 Productions. And we've been hit or miss this past month on that, just because of vacation and just exhaustion, sheer exhaustion. Because whenever you're working sun up to sundown on projects that are out in the heat, and when I say out in the heat, I'm talking 115 degrees in the shade. And that's the temperatures we're getting right now. It's saying that it's 96 degrees with a heat index of 110. Well, it's 110. It's not 96 degrees. I'm sorry. You know, you can try to shave that as much as you want to, but if the heat index is 110, it's 110. It's not 96. Even though that's their official index is 96. No. You're still in 115 degree heat. Okay. When it rains, it makes it worse because of the humidity, which was a nice day yesterday, actually, out at the lake. That's what we did yesterday. We went and celebrated a little bit of what the girls, Audrey and her sister, the girlfriend that you just saw in here, her sister used to get woken up by her parents on Saturdays and Sundays, and we're like, hey, we're going somewhere. Get ready and let's go. And so they wanted to do that for their parents. But then they were thinking, well, if we just spring it on them, you know, early morning on Saturday, do they already have plans, or are they not wanting to go? So they went ahead and told them the day before, which was on Friday, that, hey, this is what we're doing. We're doing an impromptu get together, family get together. We're going to, go out to the lake, and we're going to cook some burgers and hot dogs and things like that, and use the kayaks and do some fishing and things like that, and swim, because there's a swim spot there at the lake. And so that's what we did. We were out there till about 3 o'clock. And of course, the spot we were at had absolutely no cell phone service whatsoever. Now, if you stood in one spot, stood on one leg, and you squinted the right way, you could get one bar. New set of paintbrushes. But otherwise, no, you weren't getting squat. Because most of the time it was in SOS mode. And it was like, you can share your location with someone in SOS mode, and they'll know where you're at. Okay, cool. I don't got anybody that's not with me that needs to know where I'm at. So we were in SOS mode for about, 98% of that trip. So from about 8 o'clock in the morning until about a little before 3 o'clock, because we got home about 3:15 last night from there. And probably for the first 10 minutes, we didn't have cell phone service after leaving the lake, just because we're down in a basin, if you will, a valley from what you would call hills everywhere else, but mountains are what they are here. Because there is some mountainous spots here, not like in Colorado, obviously, but you're getting into the Mount Magazine area, and if you know Arkansas, you know what I'm talking about. And so it was peaceful. My phone wasn't going off. I wasn't having to, check this notification, check that notification, see what was happening here, see what was happening there. It was nice. And that's what society needs to do from time to time. You need to unplug from your gadgetry. What? Put my phone down? Turn my TV off? Read a book. Get out and enjoy some nature. Get outside. Period. I know people that don't step foot outside except to go check their mail. I get people that complain. Oh, it's hot outside. Oh, my allergies. Oh, I can't take the heat. Oh, I can't. Sounds like excuses to me. Sounds like you're not living to me. And I know there's people that can't get outside for whatever reason, due to a disability or, whatever. But then I look at people with disabilities all the time, and see them outside enjoying life. And it's like, excuses. We all make excuses for something. And if I could play the song, I would play it for my title, Down on the Farm, by Guns N' Roses off their Spaghetti Incident album. Great song. It's a punk song because that's what that entire album is. The Spaghetti Incident is a punk rock songs that were made faint, or that were sung by another crew, another punk rock band, but because Guns N' Roses brought that album together and made it popular, now those songs are popular, or were popular back in the day. Okay, and Down on the Farm is a rocking little punk song. So if you haven't heard it, go listen to it. It's fun, and that's where I got my title today, was from that song. And because that's what we showed you today, was Down on the Farm. And get outside, go do something, go hit a hiking trail. Okay, there's another bane to my existence right now. Hold on. In Arkansas, you now have to have a fishing license or a hunting license to go on public trails, hiking trails, at certain parks. I get that. And that's another reason why some people don't get out, is because of the pollution in the air. We even get those warnings here. And we're not in huge cities like you guys are, up north and off to the east and west coasts, where the smog and just junk is all over the place. Chicago, California, New York. The pollution in the air is just astronomical, horrific. And I just don't know how you guys in those areas want to stay in those areas. Oh no, you're fine. No. Here you have to have a license to hit certain state parks now. And that means you have to have one of the America the Beautiful passes, or a hunting or fishing license, or trapper's license, or something like that, to even walk on a hiking trail. And that's becoming big news around here, because you're wanting to take freedoms away by imposing a tax, if you will, to go out and enjoy nature. Well, you're going to get a lot of people that aren't going to comply to that. You got non-fishers, you got non-hunters that still like to hike and be on the waterways and things like that. It's just like going to Cove Lake, which is a state park. You have to pay $5 fee to park just to do anything for the day. Now, the rental of a camping spot is pretty awesome. It's $15 a night, which would be doable. $100, you're there for a while. They have your primitive and they have your not primitive, your modern, if you will, hookups. So if you need electricity and things like that, they've got those hookups for you, which are a little bit more expensive than the $15 a night spots. But $100, you're there for a while. You do the math. I'm not going to do the math for you. I suck at math. I hate math anyway. That's why I've got this little guy, so I can do my calculations. Oh, it needs to be that thick on all the way across until it starts tapering down. Then we go a little bit thicker, thinner, a little bit thinner, a little bit thinner, a little bit thinner. Oh, my calipers work great. So Again, another way to take away freedoms from people wanting to do things. And it's unfortunate because, again, you're going to get a lot of people that are not going to want to purchase any of those licenses just to hit a hiking trail at a park. No, I'm not saying that's every hiking trail, because not every hiking trail is on a state park. Why are we wanting to limit freedoms so much? Why are we trying to restrict people from doing things? Is it because we can't control the people to the ability we want as a government? And I know we don't talk politics here. But why? Why are we trying to limit what people do on a regular basis by forcing them to have a license to go hike or to go kayaking or to be on the water in a tube? You know, those big groups of people that go tubing down rivers and things like that. And then they impose all these rules on you where you have to buy a license, but you never see a ranger ever checking licenses. It's been a hot minute since I've seen a ranger, except whenever I went out on Lake Fort Smith in a fishing tube. Do you know what those are? A fishing tube? And this ranger had no fucking idea what I was even in. And you're telling me you're a park ranger and you have no idea what a fishing tube is? That they sell at Cabela's, Bass Pro Shops, any fishing outlet. He even sold at Walmart for a long period of time. You have your waders on. You sit down in this little inflatable, well, it used to be a big styrofoam ring that had a cover around it, but now they're inflatable and they look a little like kayak looking things almost. Not kayaks, but pontoon style, depending on which one you got. Mine is the pontoon style look. It's got the horseshoe look to it. And then it's got the covering over the top of it. And then it's got all the little pockets for your gear and fishing equipment. And you sit down in that and you put your kick fins on and you go fishing. This ranger had no fucking idea what I was in. She was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "It's a fishing tube. You can buy them at any fishing supply store, Cabela's." And I even explained to her, they've been around since the dawn of time, since I can remember, because my grandpa had 3 of them. My stepdad had 2 of them. My brother had one. I've been on a float tube or a fishing tube since I could walk, basically. And it's just like, for you to be a park ranger and not know what a fishing tube is, you might as well hand in your credentials right now. They were like, "Well, is your body making contact with the water?" Well, sometimes. Well, you can't have your body in the water at all. You can't put your body you can't put your body in the water at a lake. So how are the kayakers getting into their kayaks if they can't make contact with the water before they get into their kayaks and then go kayaking around the lake? Well, that's only for a short bit of time. No, I've seen them, doing other things over there, where they're outside of their kayak. This world makes no sense most of the time. The things that get taught. the knowledge that gets lost. Oh, the knowledge that gets canceled. Oh my God. It's very, very difficult to do a lot of things in today's society anymore. Just because of all the rules and regulations that get put in place. Excuse me. And then it's just like Mr. Shiva here. Promises kept, promises not made. They still haven't bought it yet. Even though they said they would next time they got paid. Lo and behold, looky here, I'm still holding it. I'm sure they've been paid a couple times since the last time I talked to them. I gave somebody a good deal on the whole stack of Walking Dead. That card included at the time, and I still have it, in my hands. I still have the whole stack. And these I usually sell at $60 a shot. I had them down to 30, so half price. And I gave a good discount for the whole lot, if you can imagine that. But again, I still have them in my hands. And it's like, oh well, whatever. They'll sell. Sorry, I'm doing multitasking right now. On my other computer. So, how are you guys? Really, how are you guys doing out there? Because I'm doing great in reality to everything, in retrospect to everything. It's just there's a lot to do. And I know I'm not the only one that has a lot to do. Or a lot going on in their life. I get people that I talk to that don't take care of themselves, And I don't go into details of what goes on in their lives because that's not my place to tell, And it's like, why don't people want to take better care of themselves? Oh, again, like Casey and I talked about, microwave society. It's instant, ready, done. Back in the day, even my great-grandmother's era, which was 1900s to early 2000s, let's just say, she lived to be 95 years old. Had she not had a stroke in 92, I think she would have still been around past 100 years old. Because after her husband passed away in, I think it was the 70s, somewhere in that range, she never remarried, but she was always active. She was always doing something. She was cutting her own grass. She was doing her own garden. She was cooking her own food. And that's just what she'd been doing since basically she was born. And it's like, when did we get away from that? There's remedies for the body in a lot of the foods we don't eat. Meaning the peels, the rinds, antioxidants in certain berries. But yet we avoid those. TikTok, you're full of shit. I did not redirect anybody outside of TikTok to do anything. We're talking about wholesome shit here. We did not tell anybody to go out. Did I tell anybody to go outside of TikTok shop and do anything? Get anything outside of TikTok shop? No, I sure did not. I did not tell you to go buy my artwork outside of TikTok shop. I just did now, but I didn't then. So anyway, there's a lot of antioxidants and a lot of healing properties in things that we don't eat anymore. Because why? They say it's bad for you. Why are they saying it's bad for you? Because it can heal the body. You don't need all the pills that they're shoving down your throat. Every commercial I see anymore is some kind of a, are you in pain? Do you have this dysfunction? Do you have this? Do you have that? Well, take this pill. Don't mind the side effects that are a mile long and the biggest one, could lead to death. But it'll clear up this one item. Oh, you're depressed? Have you been outside? Oh, you're this? Have you been outside? Have you held a small animal in your hands? Have you hugged your dog today? Have you gone and seen Bill? Sometimes that's all you need. You don't need all this mumbo jumbo shit that they're trying to push down your throat on a regular basis. It's like a veteran showed up at one of the congressional hearings about the VA stuff. And she pulled out, like I said before, every medication that the VA prescribes to you. And hers is bigger than mine, to be honest. And they're like, they want you to take this on a daily basis. And she was like, yes. And she was like, but since I work in the medical field, I know that I can't take this medication with this medication because it'll do this. I can't take this medication with this medication because it'll do this. And they were like, but yet this is what they give you on a monthly basis to take every day. And she was like, yes. So they're trying to work that issue to where you're not taking as many pills for the issues that you have. And that's what society should be reaching for. We don't need a pill for everything when there's natural remedies out there for it. Just like baking soda is a natural remedy for a lot of things. But they've taken that out of many of your food supplies. And it used to be there. People used to take it on a regular basis until they deemed it, bad for you. Just like eggs and bacon and everything else that is good, they deem as bad. They try to take things away from you, that will help you, that will heal you. That's why it's better to grow your own, and not in that sense, even though you could, because in most places it is legal to grow one plant for your own purposes. But I'm talking about your own vegetables, your own eggs, your own meat, with your heavies, your chickens that you butcher up. Um, so much naturalness out there for you, even growing in your own yard if you know what you're looking for. It's like I saw one of my chickens eating a toxic plant that they say will harm your animals. Well, why is she eating a toxic plant if it's going to harm her? Because animals usually avoid things that they don't, or that they know will injure them, that they know will kill them. But here she is eating the berries off this plant that they say will harm your animals. Now, is it just domesticated animals that it's going to harm? Like dogs, cats, pigs, those type things? Because the pigs avoid it. They sleep under it for shade, but they don't eat it. They don't even eat the berries. But the chickens are sitting there eating the berries off this plant. So what benefits is it giving the chicken? Getting rid of a parasite? Helping its joints? I don't know. Because everything I've read about this plant is that it is toxic to humans, it is poisonous to animals, but yet my chickens are eating it. So it makes you wonder, what are they lying to us about on a regular basis? Because we know they are. And sometimes they can't keep the truth straight, if that makes any sense. It's just like whenever we tell a lie to somebody, even if it's just a little white lie, because it's a gift or something like that, and we tell somebody else that this is what's going on, and then it starts a whole rumor mill of the whole situation, and now you're trying to figure out which lie is out there. And so it compounds upon itself until it gets back to you from the person that you're trying to keep it from. I heard from such and such that this is what's going on, and you're like, well, that's not what's happening. But it's that one little white lie that gets you in the end sometimes. And that's where the government is. They've been lying to the people for years about everything, just so they can control everything. And that's just how it goes sometimes. And here's a girlfriend coming to find out what we're doing. Yes? It's still on. You can tell the people.
Don't want your microphone.
But we're about to be finished for today, folks. She wants breakfast. What kind of breakfast do you want?
Oh, but
Okay. So we're going to go get some breakfast. We're not sure what we're getting yet.
well, they're not going to have
And
anything
who's
that
that
we
in here?
want.
That's Wigglebutt.
They're not going to have anything left.
Probably not.
It's too late in the day now.
Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song
So
tonight.
you've had it this entire time, huh?
It was in the box. Oh, he wants you to sing a song.
I'm like big butts again out loud. There you go.
With an itty bitty waist and a round thing in your face, you get sprung. Gotta pull up some. There you go. She was singing some big butts. There you go. Hair song, not you. Her song, not you. Well, you heard big butts. She was singing for you.
I can send you some old videos of my old singing videos.
There you go. There you go. Send him some old videos. All right, folks, we're going to kill it for now. You all have a great day. And as I like to say, as I leave you guys, we will catch you on the flip side. Have a good day, everybody.